Bismillahi walhamdulillahi wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. I ask Allah to make this easy for me and for you. Okay, I've always been very disturbed by people's use of a string over a globe to prove the northeast Qiblah. And so I wanted to try to make a quick video, insha'Allah ta'ala, that anyone can understand, explaining why this string over the globe is not the way to determine the Qiblah, and it's not the way to use the globe in the first place. Most importantly, it's not the way to determine the Qiblah. The Qiblah is a religious issue that has religious rules. Putting a string over a globe is not the way to determine the Qiblah. Secondly, it's not the way even to read the globe. The globe is a map, and a map has rules. There's a way to read a map. Now, if we want to determine the directions between one point and another on a globe, the way to determine that is not by putting a string over the surface of the globe. The way to determine that is by looking at the globe actually just like you look at a flat map. And this is one of the big mistakes that people who face Northeast miss. The similarity between a globe and a flat map is that they both have a point that's designated as north and a point that's designated as south. Okay? And they both have a middle point also between the north and the south. All right? Everything above this middle point is called the northern hemisphere. Everything below this middle point is called the southern hemisphere. And the more or the higher you go up towards this point, the further north you're going. And the further you go towards this point, the further south you're going. Okay? In the northern hemisphere, you can go north or south. In the southern hemisphere, you can go north or south. Okay? And then you have, of course, west and east. Now, a person would say the direction is northeast because look at this very straight line from New York. This pin is lodged right in New York on this globe. And they would say, look at this line, this very nice line. This is a direct flight from New York to Mecca. Doesn't go right, doesn't go left. It's a straight flight, northeast. And that is actually very big ignorance about how to look at a map. Remember this. The further you go up on this globe, the further north you are. The more you go down on the globe, the further south you are. That's for a globe and it's for a flat map. That's how you use them the same. Okay? The more you go to this direction, the further east you are. The more you go to this direction, the further west you are. So a globe is actually read just like a flat map is read. Don't let a person tell you that it's not. Based on that, it is very obvious that New York is north of Mecca, according to the globe. Okay? So Mecca is further down. The further up you go, you're going north. The further down, you're going south. So this entire line is not northeast, actually. This entire line is not northeast, although you see it straight like this. All right? That's the illusion. So a person says, how is that entire line not northeast? Cannot you see how straight it is? Yes, I see how straight it is over this curved surface. This part of it is closer together and the middle of it is wider. So yes, naturally the string did land like this, showing what would be the quickest, straightest route over the surface. Sure, not arguing about that. Doesn't mean it's one direction. Okay, the quickest line that they could make over this curved surface to get from this point to this point. But this line is actually changing direction. One of the things that helps you remove this fallacy altogether is to remember something. North is not up and south is not down. That's just the way you usually see these maps. But in reality, north is not up and south is not down. Rather, your north is to one of your horizons. That means to your side. If I say point north, then you might point to your right, or you might point to your left, but you don't point up. North is not up, south is not down. All right? If you face the east, then the south will be to your right, and the north will be to your left. So the directions don't go up and down. They go actually into the horizons. That being said, what helps you see that this is not a straight line, this is not one direction, is actually just to look at it from a different perspective. Oh no! Some people would be very, very, very upset and think that this is a big lie and a big deception to people. They say, whatever it is they want to say. This is to help you see that they are not traveling in one straight line. That's because they're not going up. They're imagining that they're going up and down. They're imagining that this is basically like going up a mountain. They're going up, 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 and then coming down, 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 and therefore they're never going to the right and never going to the left. While actually the ground is below them and the sky is above them, and they're not going up when they fly northeast. They're just flying into a horizon. So actually their flight is going like this. This is the way you would perceive it as a human being. If this was a highway and you were driving your car, this is how you would perceive it. All right? You wouldn't be, if you were driving your car and this was a super highway, you wouldn't be driving up a mountain and then coming down. You'd actually just be driving northeast, northeast, northeast until going northeast until eventually you reach a point where you'll be just going east, and then eventually you see what you're doing. You're turning, and going southeast until you reach your destination. So that's not one unchanging direction. That is a right turn. What that is a right turn. They say to us, well, if you go southeast, you're going to have to make a bunch of left turns. You're going to have to make a bunch of left turns. The Qiblah rule is not based on how to travel to Mecca. They would say the only way you can get one straight line is to actually go through the earth. I didn't want to stick a rod through my globe. I actually didn't even want to stick these tacks into my globe. They say the only way you can get a straight southeast line is by going through the earth like that. And we can't go through the earth. And the answer is, it doesn't matter. Going through the earth, going over the earth, it's not an issue of travel. It's just the issue of determining the direction. The direction is east, south, east. You are reading the globe wrong. You don't find directions on a globe by putting a string over the globe. You find directions on the globe by knowing how to read the globe properly. So, one other thing I wanted to make a point. To further show that this is not one straight line, and that actually that's a right turn. This entire thing represents a right turn. Even when you look at it like this from the top and you see a straight line like that, that straight line that you see when you look from this perspective, that represents a right turn. The whole thing is a giant right turn. One last indication really quick that this line is not one unchanging direction, and that it actually is more than one direction, it's turning, is that, yeah, this arrow is going north. Okay, sure. When I say north, it means what? Closer to that top. That's how you read the map. That's how you determine north. Yes, this arrow is going north. Yes. But, so is this one. This one is going north too. Right? So how would the opposite of north be north? If this is north, if this is going north, northeast, north, and it's unchanging, and it's one unchanging line, how does the opposite of north wind up being north? That's impossible. So actually what happened was that somewhere along the line, the direction changed. Somewhere along the line, the direction changed. So they were flying northeast, and they made a turn, and eventually they started going southeast, because Mecca is actually southeast of USA, until they reached their destination. That's why when they went back, they went back northwest, 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 because they are southeast. So it's not then feasible that this entire line going this way is northeast, because that would mean that coming back this way will have to be southwest. The opposite of northeast is southwest. You cannot go one direction and then come back the complete opposite direction and be going in the same direction. So brothers and sisters, that's a big mistake, mashallah. So I hope that was clear for you. I hope that you benefited, inshallah tabaraka wa ta'ala. I had some other points that I could mention. I don't want to make this video too long, but I think this is sufficient. Barakallahu fikum wa jazakumullahu khayra. Subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdik. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.